minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Mic. We want this mic.
It's fine.
All right, whatever. Turn this off. There we go. Can everybody hear us now? Are we good? Does the sound okay? I don't think the sound's great, but I really wanted to use this mic, but I can't without having that camera hooked up. Dang it!
Are we better now? Are we good now?
Yeah, we're good. Everybody says we're good. We're solid.
Well, do we want to try and use that mic?
Well, that's what I was saying.
What about the other mics? Do we
I
have
think
little
the
mics?
way this one works is if I have this on.
What about the little mics?
They don't work. I tried it.
What do you mean? You can't plug in the phone?
No, it doesn't. Oh. So if we remove that one,
We're figuring this out as we go, guys.
New system. But the stuff that they say it sounds good, so that mic I guess is okay,
Okay.
and they can see us.
All
So
right.
we're good there.
Just thinking.
It's good dramatic effect. It looks like we're doing something.
We're important, right?
Let's get it on. We're gonna get some controversy going. Y'all ready for a little controversy? We're gonna talk some shit.
Score update.
Ooh, score update.
Sorry, guys. So obviously, I don't know if all of you are, but the World Championships are about to end. They're about to start position round. We're about to figure out who the final 9 are to make TV. We have a game update after 60 games. Jason Belmonte is your cut for the show, and he's 11 pins ahead of Michael Martel. He is, let's see here, he is 40 pins ahead of Kevin Williams in 11th. And then your 8th place is Packy, who's only 13 pins ahead. And then there's a 130 pin jump to 7th. So I'd say
Sherman's pretty safe.
I would say we have 4 people bowling for 2 spots.
Yeah.
Would be safe. We have Kyle Sherman in 7th, Eric Jones in 6th, Justin Knowles in 5th, Graham Fa in 4th, EJ Tackett in 3rd, Jesper in 2nd, and Matt Russo is your leader, who is going to be your leader. He is only ahead by 322. We got Jacob Buttriff type stats here.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he is running them over this week. Congrats on your 2nd title, Matt. That's impressive. And he made the Shark Show.
Yeah.
The only lefty to make the Shark Show. So, pretty impressive. There were only, I believe, 4 lefties that cashed in Shark, and he was one of them. And then there were, 13 that cashed on Scorpion. 13 out of the 16 lefties this week in the field cashed on Scorpion. And I'd have to check. Let me see here. I have Lane.
Cheetah was 6, I think it was.
Let me see. Cheetah Championship qualifying combined.
Pretty sure it was 6.
Gander here.
Which the one pattern that you would think the lefties would have a much better chance on.
I just think they were so easy that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like us throwing urethane early.
Easy.
Yeah, they
were easier
than any league pattern I've ever bowled on. But that's definitely my score showed that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But come on now, Lane Talk. I need you to load.
Work, you son of a biscuit eating bulldog.
Come on now. By the way, shout out to Lane Talk. It's actually so cool that they do all this, everything that they have. Magnus, you're phenomenal. this is great. There's a ton of stats. I actually have some here on my phone. They broke down left versus right, average pairs, things like that for different championships. So a lot of different things they do behind the scenes that aren't necessarily just on the website that they do, and it's insane what they do for stats for us now. It's really cool to have this. So, thanks, Lori. Thanks, Lori.
So funny. That's good stuff right there. I agree. Get a haircut.
Look, I am getting a haircut. I just don't know how much is getting cut off.
I need to. Mine's getting a little long too. I got to figure out how to trim it down just a touch. It's getting to be a little annoying. It's getting in my face.
Come on here. Why is this?
Your internet stinks.
Yeah, it's my internet. It's not the internet of the person's house that I'm.
Mine's working fine. I don't know what you're talking about. We are live on the interwebs on mine.
We are.
So we're good. Absolutely.
Let's see.
But we're going to talk about the left versus the right and all that stuff. And we're kind of going to want to watch the position round of the World Championships there. I want to see who makes that show. So we'll talk through that a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
they have not started yet. So
we'll probably be on here for quite some time. But
yeah, we don't have a timeline for this. There's no set script. There's no nothing. We just figured we have a night off. The shop's not open on Thursdays, so we figured why not jump on and talk and answer any questions that you guys may have.
That's right. That's right.
No.
Bald is beautiful.
You have fun with that.
Bald is beautiful.
I'm going to enjoy having hair until I can't enjoy having hair.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of receding hairlines at our age, and I'm going to be okay with it.
The more important question is, should bowling be fair? My answer is no, it's not supposed to be fair. Everybody got to figure it out. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know exactly what you mean by that.
I don't understand that comment, to be fair.
Yeah.
How is it not?
I mean, I understand saying, like, should bowling be fair, but I don't know what you mean by the second part of that. So, I mean, inherently, bowling will never be fair.
But you should try to make it fair.
Sure, but it's, like, never going to be. It's almost like we'd have to live in, like, magical Christmas fantasy land for it to be perfectly fair.
Right.
Because, like, fair would be, so there were 16 lefties that bowled this week. So fair would be the percentage that they are of the field is the exact percentage that they are that make the cut of every single event. Like, that's perfectly fair, right? Because then it's just like,
what if the lefties are just better bowlers?
That may be the case.
Could be.
If that's the case, that percentage is not going to be higher, but then then they're still going to make arguments that, they're better because the left is easy. That's not always true. Like, I will say some of the better bowlers in the PTQs this year were left-handed.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they were the better bowlers, and they made it through more PTQs. And I don't think that's because the left was just I think they were also the better bowlers.
So he says everybody had an equal chance at the beginning to make it. The left just figured it out faster. I mean, I completely disagree with that, but that's just me.
If you're saying that about the World Series and about this week, as someone that bowled, I cannot agree. I cannot agree with that statement at all. The left is definitely very.
Well, let's see.
I mean, if we just look at what transpired this week and we look at some of the stats of that, I think it's just hard for us to agree with that statement.
Do we have graphs for the patterns so we can break it down and see?
I think we could probably pull them up.
Right. So what? Okay. So like the one we're specifically talking about would be Scorpion.
And it's asymmetrical.
Right.
It is an asymmetrical pattern.
So let's see what the download looks like and see if I can share this to the screen. Maybe, possibly. Hold on. Let's see if we can do that.
Hey, no, go lay down.
That's what she does. We start talking and she goes
crazy. Yeah.
All right. So here is this graph. Let me see if I can share it.
So we're going to show you guys the Scorpion graph.
Possibly. Hopefully.
Maybe. That'd be kind of cool.
Figure it out. Present. Share screen. We want to see a window, which is this one. Can we share that? Is that up there?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas here.
Yeah. So now we're doing okay. All right. So here's the difference in the pattern, and you can even see just in the shape to the right. Like, look at the difference in the taper If you were to look at the numbers over here, you could probably see the difference in the numbers too. And it's definitely clearly not a symmetrical pattern, which I know there's people out there who believe that pattern should be symmetrical, but it's just, you can't do that. Like, it just, there's no way, because for one, it wouldn't be fair to the left side for some of the patterns. Because if they're completely, like if the left side was the same as the right side here, I don't think it would have been very fair. I think they just went a little too far with the amount of taper and the shape on the left side here.
So there's a couple different factors. My opinion when it comes to this is, I think that people that understand Thunderball and that bowling center, it is a very, I would say, what's the word I want to look for here? It's you're very forced to do certain things. And this pattern being asymmetrical with the oil they chose to use, because we used different oils for each pattern this week. The oil that happened to be used and the way this pattern just happened to match up to the building, the left just ended up being easier. The righties, the shape in the pattern is in the track, but there's a lot of friction in the track at Thunderbolt. So we have an issue of where like the righties got forced into that flatter part of the lane a lot of the time. And then the way this oil develops with the pattern, it basically forces you to do certain things, and the pattern would feel like it gets kind of cliffed, and games 4 and 5 were pretty ugly. I really dug deep to try and find it. It was really hard for me to find it. I could not. They have a stat sheet for left versus right on Cheetah. Lane Talk released this. There was also one that I saw for Scorpion, and the left was out averaging the right game 5 of the block by 45 pins. 45 pins was the difference in average. They were averaging 241, and the righties in the field were averaging 196.
Is that a lot?
It kind of is. Game 4 of the block, they were out averaging us. I believe it was like 27 pins. So combined in just those 2 games, the lefties were gaining 72 pins on the righties in just 2 games of the block.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with, like, in my opinion, it's, they don't get to choose this. The lefties are going to take what they have, and
as they should.
Yeah, it just happened that they were that much easier, and they were able to do that. They got really ugly games 4 and 5 for the right side, depending on what parts of the building you hit and what pairs you hit and who you followed. So it just got tough. And I shot 160 game 5 of one of the blocks, and the other righty in my pair shot 150 that same game. Meanwhile, Eric and Dio Bernard, who I crossed with, and Jesper, who I crossed with, both shot 240 plus that game. So it's just massive. But it's not their faults. They're bowling the same tournament we're bowling, and it's not like there weren't righties that made it, but 11 of the 16 that made the match play for Scorpion were left-handed. So, and again, there were only 16 lefties in the field. So it's tough. There's a lot of factors that go into this, and it's not just, hey, we think this is the right thing to do. A lot of times we don't necessarily know. I mean, when we bowled practice on that pattern 3 days prior, they didn't feel that hard. But after bowling 2 days on Cheetah and then bowling that pattern, they felt different, and they didn't play exactly the same. They never really do from practice. So it just played out the way it did. So there's not much we can really do to that. But it was very defining because of that pattern.
Yeah, so, okay. But take a look at this.
Hey, I need the login for this. Or I need to,
So
I can actually see the comments.
I told you.
Well, I know.
Just go to here. Hold on. I can invite you. Hold on.
Okay, do that.
Invite. Copy.
I can't see all the comments.
I know it.
He did. He said it's.
All right. Facebook. I gotta send it to you through Facebook so you can get it on the computer.
Gotcha.
Hold on 1 second, folks. I'm going to show you the difference between this pattern and then the Masters pattern.
Oh, Alan coming in here with his logic. Fair would be Fair would be everyone spending the same number of frames figuring out the next pair. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen on the PBA Tour because we have ball reps. So, if the ball reps do a good job and they're helping sometimes it takes you 0 frames to figure out that pair. So,
there you go to your Facebook and I just sent it to you through your Facebook chat messenger. All right, so so everybody take a look at this pattern now. So you can see this pattern here and the shape of this pattern. And the difference in the taper over here versus the taper to the right. And then if we pull up, if I can get back to where I need to be here, I will turn that on.
Yep, give me 1 second. Where's the volume at?
Just mute yourself. Or no, it's your volume on your computer. You gotta turn your volume off.
I know, I'm just trying to mute the...
There you go.
Well, normally you can just mute the video.
All right. So let me change this. We will stop that, and then I'm going to change it to this other one. And so now I'll take a look at this other pattern.
There we go. Now I can see comments.
Let's go to the Chrome tab. No, that's not what I want. Here. All right, we'll just share this so you can see this, and then we'll go over to this. There we go. So now, look at this pattern, left versus right. Look at the amount of taper to the right compared to the left. How many blocks, how much flatter it is to the left. This would be why the left struggled as much as they did on the left side.
Yeah, even though this pattern's asymmetrical, I mean, it's technically flatter on the left. It's 1.4 to 1 compared to 1.7 to 1.
Right.
So, I mean, it is technically flatter, and I think topography in that building kind of made it worse for them.
Mm-hmm.
They were forced into that flatter portion of the lane. They couldn't necessarily play the gutter. The gutter didn't look very good there on either side. So, yeah, I mean, I think.
So I guess the major question here is how do we accomplish creating patterns that are quote unquote fair? How do we make them fair for both sides to where one side's not running the other side over?
I think the only way to do that is start developing the patterns for the building you are going to be bowling in.
And to be fair, before you go into this, I just want to make it known and clear that we are not by any means saying that either USBC or the PBA did anything wrong with their pattern.
No. These patterns were predetermined. They were designed. These were all set before everything happened. That's what I was saying. Alfred White makes the comment, the Masters had no lefties even close. Do you think the PBA overreacted due to the Masters?
I don't think it had anything to do with that.
The PBA didn't do anything differently. These patterns and these graphs were designed before the season even started. These patterns were known that they were going to be used in this building before we started the season. The PBA didn't change these patterns after the Masters thinking we need to give the left easier. That did not happen. The PBA would not do that. They are not going to do that. That's not what happened. This was set before we even got close to bowling. So the USBC didn't go into this thinking, oh, we don't want the left to win. They designed this pattern. I think Nick Hoagland still designs their patterns.
Mm-hmm.
This pattern was designed, months ahead of time. They know these things way ahead of time. That's why this year for the U.S. Open, the patterns got released early because Rob Gottschall left the USBC and is now working for Storm. So they released the patterns because Rob had been involved with those patterns and that event.
Yes.
So they released them so that everybody knew, so that Storm players would not have an advantage. This is not. They don't do that. That does not happen. That's not a thing. They did not overreact. They didn't think, oh, the lefties got shut out the Masters. We need to give them something here. No, that's not the case. What happened was the patterns just matched up a weird way to the building, and it is the way it is.
Yeah, I don't think they did anything intentional here. I don't think this was I don't think they said, you know what, we're going to give the left the world because of the Masters. And I don't think anybody said, I just don't want to see a lefty on the show, so we're just going to make the left impossible. Yeah. But you can clearly see, based on what we know with the friction of that center, that the reason why the lefties didn't score.
Sure.
Looking at this pattern and what they had to deal with compared to what we had to deal with, it was clearly
they felt infinitely easier for us.
Right.
Just because the taper that was in the pattern
on
the
top
taper
of the
on top of
transition.
the actual topography of the center just really matched up well to make the righties a lot easier.
It allowed the righties to start straighter and break them down to where then you could just
Yep.
migrate left.
Which made scores higher because the burn squads were easier than what they normally are, like those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, like Rick Fredette makes it. It's funny how when lefties have a good week or a good tourney, people are up in arms. But when one lefty makes the top 64, no, I can't.
No, you can't. Oh, okay.
I can't. Like he says this, and that's not true. There were plenty of complaints and lefties complaining at the Masters, and there were lefties this week that even came out and said, "Hey, this isn't what we want. This isn't good for anybody. Like, we don't want this either." So, no, that's not true. People don't just do this because the lefties had one good event. And we're not sitting here bashing the left because of it. We just want to talk about it.
Yep.
We're just having a discussion because this has been the discussion on Facebook. The cheetah scoring, like the scoring pace has been a discussion. The left versus the right has been a discussion this week. We just want to talk about it. I mean, that's what it is. I bowled the tournament, so I can hopefully answer some questions for some people that, might not 100% know exactly what went on because I was there. So it's not that we're sitting here complaining. They're good bowlers. Everyone that bowls on the PBA Tour is a very, very good bowler. But when you give them the smallest advantage, they are good enough to take advantage of it. And that's what they did. There's nothing against them for doing that. They're very good because they did do it. So we're giving them that credit. But again, we use the word fair. We all want it to be fair. We all want this to be the best for everybody. So let's have a discussion. That's what we're here to do.
So, yeah, and so like with the USBC and the Masters, I think what most people don't realize is the USBC goes into these centers that they're going to use, although I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think that center was an absolute shit show. I don't believe we should have been in that bowling center. I think that was a garbage choice, and I don't think USBC necessarily had a choice because they bid it out. So it's basically whoever's going to pay the most money to have them. And that was a center that had the ability to do it. So they ended up going there. But that place was, no offense to whoever runs that place, but there was panels that had holes in them and cracks. And the place was just trash, in my opinion. And I'm going to say that out loud. I think a lot of players want to say it out loud. So I'm just going to say it and represent everybody for that because everybody was talking about it. But what USBC does is they actually go into these centers and they take the measurements for all of the panels, all of the lanes, and they go in there and they attempt to fix the topography. They attempt to fix the flatness of the lanes to make them and level them out. That's why they do the topography graphs and give you these books that show you all the topography and all the lanes. They try to get them as flat as they possibly can. Unfortunately, there was just some panels they couldn't fix, I guess, where your ball would hop 30 feet in the air, it seemed like, and holes in the lanes. And what do you mean, come on now?
That did not 30 feet in the air.
I mean, it was 30 inches. No, maybe not. I mean, it was noticeable, though. Oh, they started position round.
They did. Mm-hmm. They did. We're taking a look. They're showing the Martel versus Belmo match. I think I can't see it. This one. Okay, there we go. It's not showing whether Belmo made the spare or not, but I'm assuming he has strike 9 spare, strike 9 spare, 9 spare. Michael Martel has double 6-2 9 spare through 4 frames. Oh, I think they just put this in the wrong spot. Belmo has not bowled the 5th frame yet. And like we said, Kevin Williams is 40 off. He started with triple, 9 out, strike. So
he needs them all.
Possibly. I mean, this doesn't look like it's going to be the highest scoring affair. If he shoots 240 here and wins, and this is like 190 to 180. I mean, he can make up 40 pins that way.
Sure.
So he needs to beat Belmo by 41. Let me see.
Martel does? Or no, Kevin Williams does.
Kevin Williams has to beat Belmo by 41. And win the game.
And win if Belmo.
And win the game, yes.
Yeah.
Assuming that Belmo also wins. Is there anything even in the top? Let's see here. I guess.
All right. So here's a question.
Graham and EJ are bowling. I guess Graham, EJ, and Jesper are technically bowling for second.
So while these guys are bowling, of all the lefties, how many lefties are on this right now?
So there were 9 lefties of the 16 in the field that made the top 16 of the World Championship.
Who of those 9 lefties would you say is the best all-around bowler? Putting you on the spot. Putting you on the spot.
Wow.
John.
I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that question.
You don't have a choice.
That's so tough. I've only been out here for a little while. It's tough, like getting to see these guys do some different things. I mean, I think you at this point would have to say that Jesper's probably the best lefty in this field, but like I really, really, really respect Matt Russo's game. He has made multiple shows now in a row, not throwing urethane, throwing resin, doing different things on the lane. I think he's super underrated. I don't think people give Matt as much credit as what he should get. I think he took his thumb out of it as well a couple months ago and then just won another title. Like, I think he deserves a lot of credit. I think he's a phenomenal bowler. But I can't take anything away from Jesper either. You know, Jesper's been dominant on the tour for years. So you can't ever take that away from him. You've got Graham Fa, who is arguably the best bowler in the Central region by a mile. He wins how many of your tournaments here?
It's not even fair. It's the centers we bowl in.
Yeah, but he crowbars you guys. Like he leads tournaments by 300.
And it was
it's
crazy.
Insane.
When he was on motive staff there, and he went through his lull. That was the year that I actually had a chance, and I won Player of the Year that year when he was on motive staff. And then he went to Brunswick and started throwing purple balls, and he just ran us over.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even close. He won like 6 of the events.
But I mean,
it was stupid.
Yeah, like, I mean, Martel clearly loves bowling in this building. He bowled phenomenal at the Masters last year, finished second, and then is bowling a great week. Packy he won 2 titles last year, just bowled for another title last night or 2 nights ago. I mean, he's, you know, his ball roll's insane. He's very forward for a lefty. It's kind of different. Eric Jones, I've got to watch him all year on the PTQs. I mean, dude makes so many cuts. He's so good. He has like 4 regional titles or something. I don't even know already. And he's like 21 years old. Like, I mean, he's insane. So who knows, like, you know, Jesper's 28. Eric's like 21 or 22 or something like that. I mean, Eric's going to win out here. I mean, Dio won, and I think Eric's just as good as Dio. I think they're both phenomenal. You know, Kevin Williams just made another show two days ago as well on Scorpion, and is, you know, like we said, 40 pins off this show right now for the World Championships.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's tough. Dio, again, you know, bowled all the PTQs. Eric and Dio are the only ones. They've bowled more games in this field than anyone in the tournament. They've had to bowl PTQs. They bowled the doubles PTQ and the World Series PTQ. Made it through both of those. Made match play in the doubles. Dio made match play in Cheetah and in Scorpion and won Cheetah. Eric made match play in Scorpion and now the World Championships. Dio also made the World Championships. I mean, those two are just bowling phenomenal. I've gotten my face kicked in by them all year. So it's hard to sit here and say who's arguably like the most versatile. I think you can't take anything away from what Russo's done this week. I mean, yes, the left may have had an advantage this week, whatever it may be, whatever we want to say, but like, you're leading by 322 pins. Like, that's over 60 games.
And you're not just leading like all righties, you're leading all the other lefties as well.
Yeah, so even if you want to try and say they had an advantage,
right,
he's still doing it the best.
He's doing it way
so
better.
It's just like, I mean, and again, 1-2 right now is Russo Jesper. So if we're saying that those are 2 of the best guys in the field, it's hard to argue with that because they're 1-2 right now. So,
yeah, like for me, I'm a little biased.
And they're even bowling on a different pattern right now.
Yeah.
Like these 16 games today were a completely different pattern. So this pattern, it's probably asymmetrical. I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's like they found a way to do this. I mean, look at Russo's block. 250, 260, 230, 250, 220, 180, 210. Mm-hmm. Like, he's bowling phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just deserves it. He's averaging 239 for 60 games.
It's pretty sick.
That's insane.
It's pretty sick, Joe.
Like, you can't take that away from anybody. I don't care if you're left-handed, right-handed. You don't bowl with any hands. It doesn't matter. Like, That's insane.
Yeah.
To do that for a week, over 60 games on 4 different patterns.
Yeah. Look at that block that Graham's putting up. That's pretty good. 250, 270, 220, 250, 20, 240, and then he bowled. Oh, no, I was looking at Justin. I'm sorry.
You're looking at Justin. Look at Graham's block. Graham's block is 210, 250, 250, 270, 230, 230, 240.
And I'm looking. Then you got Justin, 250, 270, 220, 250.
20, 240, 219.
Yeah.
But, like, again, he's basically locked himself on the show. I mean, he can't.
Yeah, you're not.
He's basically going to be the 5 seed. I mean, he is 40 back of Graham, so he could possibly catch Graham.
There.
He could catch Graham or EJ, depending on what the scores look like this game. But
what do we got here?
So right now, Jesper is the 2 seed.
Yeah, he had the front 8.
Jesper went front 8 with the 7 pin. Graham's got 270 as well. Graham got 270.
That's my pick as the best lefty. Maybe I'm a little
Graham?
biased, but I watch him do so many different things with both reactive and urethane. And I think Russo is the same way. Russo uses reactive and urethane.
Yeah,
My only gripe with Jesper is he's so much better with urethane than he is with reactive.
I just don't think. I think his rev rate's a little higher than some of the other guys. Like his rev rate's significantly higher than Russo's, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't think he has to because he can do more things with the urethane ball.
For sure.
I watched him this week when we bowled on Scorpion. I mean, he was manipulating how far he was throwing it on the lane. Uh-oh.
Does that matter? Yeah, it does.
That's huge.
That's giant.
He was shooting 250.
Michael Martell in the 9th just
6-8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some drama.
Because now I think if he strikes out, he shoots 220. And Belmo will only need a mark in the 10th. Yeah. Belmo will only need a mark in the 10th to shoot. Or no. Belmo can only shoot 215. No. So Martell now needs a double to lock it out, most likely. They haven't updated the thing yet, so.
But he's 20 back. Oh, yeah. So 30 pins is enough either way.
Yeah. Because he was shooting 250.
Yeah, that didn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, whoever wins this match is the 9th seed.
Right. So Belmo could fall out. I never would have saw that game coming.
Yeah, I mean, let me see here. Who's 8th? Packy's 8th. What is Packy shooting? No, I can't see it. Yeah, it depends. I mean, I guess Belmo is only 13 pins behind him. So if Belmo shoots 215 and Packy shoots less than 202 and loses, he would jump Packy, and then he would be the 9 seed.
Right.
So that could happen as well.
Could, but
it does not.
Unlikely.
Well, hold on. Kevin Williams has 240 plus a win out there. That's 76, and he's only 40 back.
Yeah.
And this is a 3-pin match between Martell and Belmo.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, this is where I'm saying this could be 2-0 to 2-0, and he makes up.
That 240 gets him in. The math is there, right? 240 with a win gets him around both of them.
No.
Does it not? 76.
If he shoots 246 and Belmo shoots 205 with a win, he gets in. So here's what's going to happen. So if Martell makes the spare, well, Eric Jones shot 250 as well.
Packy.
So
yeah, he's
Packy's in. So Packy's in. Packy's in.
Packy's in.
Packy's in no matter what. Kyle's in. Eric's in. Knowles is in. They're all in. But here's what happens. So if Martell makes this 7-pin and shoots 208, let's just say 208, but Belmo doubles, Belmo is your 9 seed. And Martell and Kevin miss.
Because 240,
240, that's only 30. He only makes up 30 pins. But if Belmo goes spare,
now Kevin
and Martell wins, he jumps both of them, and Kevin's on the show. But Kevin has to strike out.
Has to double.
Woo! Kevin's getting ready to step up in the 10th right now. If he doubles, there is whatever he does in the 10th is what Belmo has to do in the 10th.
Hold up, folks. We got drama.
Sorry.
We're getting to your questions here in a minute. We're trying to figure out who's making this TV show. This is
because we're talking about arguably the greatest of all time, and Michael Martell trying to bowl for his first title could be on the show. Kevin trying to get title number 2 and second show of the week.
First major.
Yep. Let's see.
Got that.
First one's 10 back for Kevin.
Man.
First one's 10 back for Kevin.
Crazy.
Well, count matters here too, because Martell is 29 pins ahead of Kevin. So count matters because.
So he would need, count definitely matters.
Say he gets 7 here and Belmo goes strike spare for 205 and they tie. That changes everything. Then Kevin jumps them both. Martell struck.
Yeah, so Belmo needs a double to make the show, to lock himself in the show.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So say he goes 9 spare. Say Kevin goes 9 spare here and shoots 35. 35 is only 27 pins ahead of Martell.
Which isn't enough.
Isn't enough. Martell's on the show. So if Kevin gets this one.
Martell's not. Only one of these 3 can make it.
Correct. I'm just saying, if Kevin gets this one, then Martell is locked out.
Yeah, Martell's locked out.
Kevin has to strike here.
No, and he didn't.
He did not. So Kevin's
out.
Kevin is out. So now it's either Martell or Belmo. Belmo needs a double.
And
No.
Flat 10.
Belmo leaves the messenger short.
So
It hits
Martell's in.
Martell makes the show.
Martell is your 9 seed.
Martell is your 9 seed for the show.
Wow. How did that messenger not get there in time?
It hit it.
It did.
It just didn't fall over. Michael Martell is the 9 seed for your TV show.
So does that make it 7 lefties?
I believe, let me look here. Russo, Jesper, EJ, Graham, Justin Knowles, Eric Jones, Kyle Sherman, Packy, and Michael Martell.
Yeah.
So we have 7 lefties.
7 lefties of 9. Yikes.
7 out of the 9. The only 2 righties are going to be EJ Tackett and Kyle Sherman. We have to talk about Kyle Sherman.
We're going to talk about
We have to talk about Kyle Sherman this week because, I mean, I don't know what content has been on his YouTube channel. I haven't seen a lot of it.
He talked about it. He did say, I watched it. He talked about it.
Did he?
He talked about his finish.
It's absolutely insane. This man, total this week, missed cashing in all 3 animal patterns by a total of 9 spots. He finished 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, where the top 20 cashed in each animal pattern, and was 15th overall going into the World Championships. He didn't cash in any of the animal patterns, didn't make 1 match play, and made it in. That is phenomenal bowling on every single pattern. That is insane.
That's gross.
Like, he bowled phenomenal to do that. That is, when you only take there are always some guys every year, I feel like, when they took the top 24, there's always a couple guys, like 1 or 2 guys, that could not make a match play, but make it into the top 24. Yeah, you've done it. There was always 1 or 2 guys a year that did that, where they would finish 20th, then they would finish 24th, and then they would finish 30th, and that got them the 22nd spot in the World Championship. They wouldn't make it into match play for any of the animal patterns. Because in the past, it was just you had to make the top 16 or you didn't cash, right, in the animal patterns. So, yeah, there was always some guys that did that, and they would make match play because it was top 24. This year, it's only top 16. That changes a lot. So not cashing in any animal pattern and making that top 16, bro, you bowled phenomenal. Hats off to you, man. You bowled great. That is insane. To do that is absolutely nuts. He's the only person in the top 16 that did that. Because Wilkins made one of the finals, right?
I don't know. Didn't he? I'm sure he did.
I don't think he made Cheetah.
Did he? Sure. Maybe he didn't. No,
he had.
There's no way.
Maybe he did the same thing.
Maybe.
No, he cashed in Cheetah. I know he cashed in Cheetah. For some reason, I cannot get Lane Talk to open.
Let's find out here.
Everything else is working.
So Cheetah. Look at the scores. Cheetah, Wilkins, where are you at? Wilkins. He was 21st.
So he did not cash.
Did not cash. So he was 21st. Let's check out Scorpion now.
I don't have internet access.
Scorpion. Zach Wilkins was 20th, so he did. He snuck out. Oh wait, there was 21 cashers on him.
Really?
Yeah, 21 cashers.
So he cashed in Cheetah and in Scorpion.
Is that right?
Or did he not cash and did it not show him cashing in Cheetah?
Let me see. Hold on, buddy. Oh, it doesn't. It only shows points here. It doesn't show money on this one for Cheetah.
Oh,
they didn't.
I thought it was 20.
So it must have been 21. So I guess he cashed in both Cheetah and Scorpion, but he didn't make match play. That's still tough. And then you got Shark. We've got Wilkins.
Finished 22nd.
22nd.
So he
did
21st.
basically the same
He did
thing.
the same thing. He went 21st, 20th, 22nd.
That's sick.
He didn't make match play. That's insane. Zach, you're a sicko. You've also cashed in like every event this year except for 2. That's insane. I know you're probably not happy right now. I know the match play for World Championships probably didn't go the way you wanted, but dude, you bowled absolutely amazing so far this year. Like, come on, man, keep going. Like, absolutely insane.
Oops, I missed those.
What, you want some grapes, bro?
Couple of grapes. Okay.
But yeah, so Zach Wilkins did the same thing.
All right, get them questions out. Let's answer some questions now.
So we have, wait. Okay. Yeah, it's still not updated online yet. It was 61, but we'll see if there's any other changes. But sorry, my internet decided it was not going to continue working. So let me load this up so I can look at some of your questions.
Holy ball sack. Why are these so good?
Bro, I told you they're amazing.
Unreal.
Off topic for a second.
They're like candy. Some grapes. Let's do some grapage.
So be bold. Off topic for just a sec. Would like to get your thoughts on the introduction of string pins. It's ruining the game, in my opinion. Do you think the PBA will eventually host string pin tournaments? I think the USBC certified string pins are harder to strike on than freefall.
When they're
That's a hot take. You might not believe me.
when they're new.
But yeah, because like you can't. It's harder to throw messengers. It's harder to do other things. I think there are certain string pin. Yes, but I think there are certain string pin setters that are not certified, that are not USBC certified, and those you can end up with some very interesting things. So I don't think it's ruining the game. It's better for bowling centers. It's a better resource. They need less maintenance. So I think in the long run, it's something that's probably going to help our sport. And I think the technology will probably only get better as more centers start to use them. So I don't genuinely think it's a good or bad thing. I think it's just we're a sport that technology advances, and that's going to happen. So
We're still trying to figure it out, honestly. They're still doing research and whatnot. But first initial statistics of what they found was scores dropped about 10 pins a game for average league bowlers because the strings being longer didn't allow the pins to get pulled over by strings and didn't allow the messengers off of the wall.
you have to add me to the stage. I think that would allow me to like put comments on the screen.
No, that just makes you pretty.
Oh, hi. No.
Nope.
Okay. I don't know then. That's interesting.
It's just because you're not an admin on here.
Gotcha.
But so somebody that has string pins installed said that he told me, I don't know if it's true or not, but he told me that Tom Clark was adamantly against the string pin thing and he'll never have PBA events on string pins. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told.
Yep. I haven't heard that, but it's also something, honestly, none of the guys on tour are talking about. It's not something we discuss.
Hasn't been a topic yet. We haven't needed to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe there's any Bolero centers that have them. Or are there any? I don't know. But none of the Bolero centers that we bowled PBA events in or the centers we go to are. So it's just not been a discussion. We got to plug your phone in.
Oh, poopy.
Yeah.
Oh, let me grab a charger. But, so the string pins, they do stretch. The strings on the pins stretch, which then allows them to start having those weird carry again. So, at least that's what I was told. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I've never seen it. I just know what we're talking. I know what they've been telling us. So, that's about it. Got one? What?
Well, he's using the iPad one.
Oh, well. Oh, yeah.
Here, I've got a cord here.
All right, that works.
Just plug it into your laptop.
Yeah.
Or my laptop.
Got it. Here, come here. Bada boom, bada bang. Here you go.
Now we don't have to worry about that.
Good. All right.
Is it
So,
charging?
I don't know. Is it? Let's find out.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
We solid.
So,
All right. More questions. Here we go.
let's see. Side question: what's your guys' opinion on your trials? Are we talking about tour trials?
Yes, that's what he said.
If you're, oh yeah, tour trials. My opinion, I don't want to bowl it. Still got 1 week left.
Try not to.
Yeah, I mean, we still got the TOC, so hopefully we both can make it through the PTQ there, and we can try and not have to bowl tour trials. That's the goal. I know I moved up a little chunk in the points this week getting to bowl and bowling okay in Cheetah, but yeah, we're still hoping not to bowl.
Yeah, so
That's our
right
opinion.
now. All right. So 43rd before all this is added. I don't think any of the World Series stuff is added in yet. So 43rd is Zach Tackett at 43.25 points wise. All right, let's see here. Scrolling on down, Shota could jump up there because he finished second, but the points at the World Series,
you don't get a lot for the animal patterns, so you're not going to jump. You're not going to jump a ton. And I don't know if he's allowed to bowl the TOC.
Yeah, Cody, you were 72nd going into this
with just the doubles.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll probably move up a little bit, but not a ton.
And then I'm 88th. But that, like think about that. So I'm 88th, averaging 216,
and you've cashed
for everything.
Yeah.
And you are 72nd, averaging 215 for all the events.
Yeah. I bowled 170 games. How many you bowled?
You bowled 170. Yeah, because you made through.
I bowled 100 more games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you bowled the Players' Championship
and the U.S. Open.
And the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which the U.S. Open is one of the lowest scoring events of the year. So.
But, okay, so that's that other topic we wanted to talk about, was how freaking hard it is to get through the PTQs.
It is. It's not easy.
And why? Like it's insane. Where am I going? What's going on here? I'm on the wrong screen. There we
go. So John Willock asked, so only 12 spots for trials. If so, how many will attempt it? That field will be full. I believe they're capping it at 90. I think that will be full. That's not a good World Series Cody. You gave me 10 hours. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm definitely not disappointed with how this week went. I think there were some factors that affected those last couple days. I mean, I guess I can talk about that. It is what it is. I think you guys deserve to know. Yeah, obviously made a good run on Cheetah. Had a chance to make that show. Would have been my first show. Felt like I bowled pretty good. Gave myself a chance. Shot 268 and what would have been 240, and lost to Marshall bowling good. He got some breaks. I probably got some breaks too. So it's bowling. We know that it is what it happens. And he was very respectful. There's a video on the PBA YouTube about the Cheetah Championship, and what he said was very nice of him. Thank you, Marshall. I really appreciate that. But
they do have points added for most of these already.
Oh, they do already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was wondering because I was in the 70s before, so now they just joined the World Championship.
Play that down.
It's a World Championship points.
But yeah. So I think I struggled a little bit the third day. Not leaving the bowling center until almost 11:30 after bowling match play for Cheetah, and then having to bowl the next day on Scorpion. I think I didn't quite. I probably wasn't mentally as good of a spot as I needed to be going into that Scorpion block, the two blocks the next day, just trying to get over what had happened the night before and kind of move forward. I think it's pretty tough trying to do that, bowling a ton of games. I think Shark Championship probably could have gone a little bit better as well, just because I bowled 113 games of competition in about 15 days. So my body's not necessarily used to that. I had 7 months off from surgery, so I just kind of I feel like a little bit of fatigue got to me, and I feel like mentally that everything that happened with Cheetah was definitely tough for me to deal with since it was the first time ever. So, but I'm not unhappy with the week. I bowled great. I'm really happy. We finished 11th in the doubles, which was really fun to do. First time ever bowling a doubles tournament together, and we finished 11th. Like that's a lot of fun. So I enjoyed it. I would do it again. I always love these opportunities, and it's just great to be out here. So it was fun.
Bill's leading points.
Yeah, he was leading the points going into this week.
It's pretty cool.
But if EJ finds a way to win the World Championship, he'll probably be your front runner for Player of the Year, I would say, with 2 titles, and then he would take the lead in the points.
Yeah.
So
I would assume so.
Yeah, with the World Championship not being in there. And that's the thing, too, that's not in yet. Like, those points are going to change a ton because the World Championship's worth the most points.
Right.
So, yeah. But, yeah, there's still going to be a ton.
Yeah, and so for, tour trials, the top 100 get priority into entering. So you don't get to just enter, as anybody. You kind of have to. There's all kinds of stipulations on who can enter.
Yeah,
first.
there's a bunch of tiers. There's probably going to end up being a PTQ for tour trials. So I know both of us getting into like JR, the doubles really helped a ton because it got you in the top 100. At least it should keep you in the top 100.
I only have points in 2 events because I only made it out of 1 PTQ. I didn't even make it in out of the PTQs.
Yeah,
but
like
Masters.
Rich is going to go around you.
Yeah.
Because, and actually probably tomorrow, so you might drop down a couple. It's just the World Championship.
It's inevitable.
But
it's going to happen.
Yeah. But either way, a lot of this doesn't matter if with the TOC left. We still have triple points from a major, so it's
not everybody gets to bowl that. So
yeah, there's a lot of guys that can't bowl it, and you never really know. I mean, you have one good showing in a major, you could finish. You make the show at a major, and you'll jump into the top 30. So it changes a lot. It's a very, very, very big difference. Yeah, but he's going to get points from World Championship.
Oh, that's all he bowled.
Correct, but he's going to get points from the World Championship, which is going to probably jump him in front of you.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
See that? Look at the points. 90 points for finishing 56th at the Shark Championship. That's
just 90 points.
90 points.
It's basically irrelevant.
But yeah, didn't happen. Stupid.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why do they do PTQs? Is it just too many people or something else? How different are the PTQ patterns from regional patterns? Well, so first off, they do the PTQs because they're just presenting an opportunity for a small amount of spots into the event that are for people that aren't exempt on the tour. So a lot of times the PTQs are basically your guys that are competing at the regional level and trying to make it to that next step. So the PTQ are kind of a way to earn your way into the field. So it's just there basically for that. They allot spots to it every year. Next year's going to be a lot different. There's only going to be like 4 spots for each PTQ. So I think you're going to see a lot less people bowl them. And then how different are the PTQ patterns from the regional patterns? They're still really different. I know we use the same patterns, the names and the animal patterns and different things, but we're also using the tour machine when they run PTQs. It's not the it's not the house machine that you're using for the regional a lot of the time. So if you end up using a Kegel machine for a regional, it's completely different than what we're bowling on for the PTQs. You could bowl in Chameleon, like they bowled on Scorpion at a regional in the East this past weekend, and it did not play remotely the same as what it did for us this week using a completely different machine. The left did not run them over at the regional in Towson, whereas, like we said, there was an advantage here. But again, different building, different oil machine, different oil. It all matters. All these things affect everything. So, but yeah, it's just different. It's just a different environment. That's what it is.
So I'm looking at Shota.
Okay.
And his points.
Sure.
And he's another one. Didn't make it out of a single PTQ other than the World Series. But
Sure.
he didn't have to bowl the World Series PTQ because of the international exemption.
He got an international exemption.
Which is fair.
That's what the World Series is about. We had 16 different countries this week.
But we're talking about the best Japanese bowler to ever put bowling shoes on. And it's not even close. Who's coming over here, and he can't make it through a PTQ. They're just hard. It's so hard to make it through these.
And Shota is a phenomenal bowler.
He's so good.
Congrats to EJ for winning Shark. Obviously, 6 shows this year and finally gets the win. Congrats. Obviously, with first one I think since Tripp's been born. So, congrats to EJ. But I would have loved to see Shota win.
Yeah,
I would have. The man is a phenomenal bowler. I've bowled with him multiple times. He's an extremely great person. He's super nice. He's won 21 JPBA titles. That's insane.
Yeah.
I think it's more than anybody else in Japan ever. And he has not won on the PBA tour. It's just hard. It is just hard out here. I averaged 233 for one of the PTQs this year and didn't make the cut. It's just not easy. I had people thinking that I was bowling bad, and it's like, no, they're just really hard. And a lot of these guys are really good. The competition this year only got better. We only had more good bowlers. it's not getting easier. There's a lot of younger kids that are really good that are only getting better. And the more they spend their time in this environment, the better they're going to get. So it's not getting any easier, and it won't be. And Tour Trials is going to be a grind. It's going to be hard. But at least they gave us another avenue now, other than the PTQs, to try and earn our way out.
I guess my only gripe, my only complaint is why are the PTQ patterns so much softer? That's what I don't understand. Like, it's not like they're easy patterns by any means, but the scores are definitely higher in the PTQs than they are anywhere else.
They haven't been this year, though.
Yeah.
No, they haven't.
For most of them.
No, the scoring pace on tour this year has been higher than it's ever been.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the whole tour.
But when you look at like what's actually taking to make it through the PTQs, the averages are ridiculous. Other than like when you look at like Cheetah. Like Cheetah's the outlier, of course.
But the thing is, though, it's not. Like EJ's about to set the scoring record this year.
Well,
EJ's going to set the average record, averaging over 230.
I understand that, but I'm talking about like cut numbers and stuff. Cut
Sure.
numbers have been way higher in PTQs than on national tour.
But the reason that's the case is because they're cutting less people.
That's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's why it's so much harder
exactly
to make it out of the PTQs, because you're talking about 7-game sprints.
Like, that's the thing. When you're looking at the top 16 or 24 making the cut in the main field compared to the top, we're looking at 8 or 9. And if you look at every tournament, I guarantee if we went through the season this year, here, let me take a look. Let me see what I can find here. Let's just take a look at PBA National Tour. I'm going to look at the Players Championship. Game by game scoring. Let's look at qualifying rounds. So if you just take the qualifying average for the Players Championship and you look at the top 9, let's just say on average it was 8 or 9 people out of the PTQs, right?
Yeah.
The Players Championship, to be in the top 9 after qualifying, it took 234.7.
Mm-hmm.
That's just as the same score we're looking at in the PTQs. The difference is they took 24 people, so it took 231 instead.
Right.
So
yeah, that's obviously.
So that's the players. We're not going to look at the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open is its own beast.
Different animal.
Yeah, that's the hardest tournament forever. So let's look at the Illinois Classic. So Illinois Classic this year, we'll go to game by game scoring. After qualifying, they cut to the top 24, and it took averaging 225.7 to make the top 24. Mm-hmm. But ninth place was 230 again.
Right.
So
again, we're looking at 4 to 5 pin difference.
We're just seeing that number be so much higher because there's always going to be those like 5 to 10 guys that just match up. But those averages are higher. I mean, that's not just the case. Like EJ matches up on everything because he's EJ. Right?
I think my argument is, though, the scores are higher in the PTQ and the patterns are softer. The difference is the bowlers are a lot better on the national tour. Like, not that the PTQ bowlers are bad by any means. Of course, they're not bad bowlers. They're really good bowlers. It's just not the same level as this group of bowlers you're looking at.
I think
so. That's why you can say the scores are higher and the patterns are softer.
I mean, we did use a lot of the name patterns for the PTQs rather than bowling on the animal patterns. We didn't necessarily bowl on a lot of the animal patterns, I believe.
That's the other thing I didn't understand is why do we always bowl on a different pattern than what the tournament was meant to be bowled on? Because then you don't want people to have an extra look at it or whatever.
I mean, I agree with that, but so looking at it, so they bowled on Don Carter for the Illinois Classic, and we bowled on. Why does it not say? We bowled on Mike Albee, which is 39 feet. And the scoring paces were pretty much identical. We both bowled on name patterns. So let me look at the Missouri one. They bowled on Dragon, one of the animal patterns, and we bowled on Billy Hardwick. I'm willing to bet Billy Hardwick is a little easier than Dragon.
Oh.
So,
yes.
So that's probably why we bowled on the easier pattern. For sure. Look at Indiana. So in Indiana, they bowled on Viper, and we bowled on the PTQ bowled on Don Johnson again, probably the easier pattern. So,
but I think it should be the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the shape of this compared to Viper.
I mean, I think it should be harder on both of them, but if you're asking me, both patterns need to be more.
I think there's a lot of people that are pretty upset with the scoring pace for the PBA Tour as a whole.
Ridiculous, but. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it shows the scoring pace is higher. We have somebody about to break the record for the highest average for a season. So, I mean, clearly the scores have just been higher. I mean, the Players' Championship kind of kicked that off in a very demanding way. Like, I mean, it's the first time it's taken 230 to make a top 24 in a major.
So Rich here says, wouldn't you want to make the bowlers in the PTQ show what they could do in a main tournament by making them bowl on the same oil pattern as the main tournament? I don't think they necessarily have to bowl on the same pattern, but I would like to see the PTQ bowlers bowling on a tougher pattern because they have to prove their worth getting onto those other patterns to be able to bowl with the tour guys.
So I know we said we weren't going to talk about the U.S. Open because it is such a different thing, but the U.S. Open is a perfect example of that. The PTQ pattern, extremely hard. That pattern is not easy. It is very flat, and it does not take – I think this year the scores might have been a little bit higher, but last year I had to bowl the PTQ for the U.S. Open. I went 70 over. I averaged like 209, and I was like fifth.
Yeah, you were in by a mile.
I was in by a mile. They were hard. So they make them hard so that the best bowlers get through for that.
And that's my argument.
But to be fair, I think like the argument we're making, Shota made it through the U.S. Open PTQ.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest PTQ, the hardest pattern we bowled on all year for a PTQ.
Oh, he had to bowl the PTQ?
I think he bowled the PTQ at the U.S. Open.
Wow.
I believe so.
I know he bowled. I know he made the cut.
Let me look.
But I don't know if
let me take a look here.
Yeah, that's the one event I didn't bowl. I didn't get to bowl that this year.
Oh, that's not it. Let's take a look at the results.
Take a gander.
Tournaments, U.S. Open, Mr. Troop won 2024 results. So, PTQ results. Yep, Shota had the ball. He was ninth.
So he was the number.
He was the number at 154 over. Or no,
he wasn't.
No.
How many made
the
it?
number was 77 over. 25 made it.
That's still higher than
25 people for the U.S. Open was more than what they took for the World Series.
Yeah.
They only took 20 at the World Series. They took 25 from the U.S. Open.
A Brandon Novak bowl. Oh, sorry. Just kidding. That was.
I knew that was coming because his name's right above Shota's, so I knew he was going to say something.
I saw that name and I couldn't help myself.
But no, but here, okay. But this goes back. A lot of people wanted to complain and say the left is easier in the PTQs, blah, 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 blah. Eric Jones, man, I've gotten to know him a little bit more this year. Look at this. U.S. Open PTQ. Hardest pattern for the PTQs. 313 over. He led by 113 pins.
Where's the next lefty? Was there another lefty that made it?
Hold on.
Not there.
Dio in 13.
Dio was
2 of the
so
best
those
lefties
two.
we said. And they've made it through more PTQs because they're just good bowlers.
Yeah.
It's not because the left is just better. They're just 2 of the better bowlers in the PTQs. Stop thinking the left is balled in the PTQs. These guys are just really good. Dio just won his first title. Eric is just now going to bowl on his first show, bowling for the World Championship title. They're just really good. Stop saying the left is better. It's not true.
It was better this week.
Like, we don't need to complain about the left.
It was better this week.
That's okay. But I'm talking in PTQs. Because, again, they made it through the PTQ at the World Series. They both did as well.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. No. 2 total.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 lefties that made it through the PTQ at the U.S. Open. Eric Jones, Dio Bernard. 2 of the best lefties. They earn it because they're good. Don't take things away from people just because they bowl with the left hand. It's not fair.
And
but
because they don't use their thumb.
But, like, you can't tell me Shota's not – like, Shota's phenomenal. 154 over, made it. Like, shot
Shota's,
300, by the way.
We talk about him all the time, man.
Shot 300.
Watching him bowl is what his hand does and how low below the ball he can get. It's
Such a heavy ball roll.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. Throws it so good. I was so happy to see him lead the Shark Show. So
I
happy.
was very disappointed to see him lose, but also happy for EJ.
Yeah, I mean, EJ felt like he had a little chip on his shoulder, I feel like. He had something to go prove. Too many people were running their mouths saying, like, oh, he's making shows and not winning. There's a reason he makes all those shows. It's because he's so good.
Yeah.
There's no argument, in my opinion, who the 2 best bowlers on the tour are.
Yeah.
And 3, I guess you can say 3. It's the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's EJ, Simon, Belmo.
You kind of throw Troop up there, too. Although he's in your
Troops,
this year.
I mean,
but he's up there.
he won the U.S. Open.
Yeah, that's true.
He won the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he did.
Kyle's in that argument.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's what these guys can do with a bowling ball is absolutely insane. I've seen Kyle strike with less rotation than anyone else I've ever seen strike with. It's just nuts. I mean, he's a sicko. So
yeah, I mean, as far as like the tour trials go, though, it's going to be really interesting because what's the format? We're bowling in 4 different houses, right?
It's 4 different houses, 8 blocks, and I believe it is.
It's a lot of bowling.
5 games a block. Let me double check.
So 40 games.
It's 48 games
across 4 patterns.
So 4 different centers. It's $1,000 to enter. We're bowling on Cheetah, Chameleon, Scorpion, and Shark. So it's basically the World Series.
Why?
What?
Why are we bowling on Cheetah? They need. So what I think that should.
I want to shoot 579 again.
So what
That's
why. What I think they should do for this is it should be a point system. I like the idea of like that tour trials.
I did hear a
that.
suggestion of that. I don't necessarily know the arguments for or against, but
Well,
it
the
does
argument
seem like
for it.
It seems like tour trials works really well, so I don't think that I would be against that.
I don't
It
like
makes
the
sense.
idea of somebody going 500 over on Cheetah
and then
coasting their way through
Yeah.
tour trials. I think that's crazy.
You don't like what I would try and do?
Yeah, exactly. I
That's
wouldn't
not
like that.
I mean, I only averaged 242 or something.
Lately,
240.
I've actually liked Cheetah. The last few years I've bowled the U.S. or the World
Cheetah,
Series. Cheetah's been a good pattern for me.
Cheetah was a good kitty this week. It
Yeah.
was very, very
Good
friendly.
kitty.
Very friendly to me this week.
Good kitty.
Very good kitty. Cheetah and I got along. Oh, that was the first. We
Just
got the
think
red
if you
ball to
were-
match up for the week. We were averaging like 250 or 260 game 1. Oh man, Cheetah was great.
Just think if you would have bowled better. Could have made a show.
Should have thrown it better.
Should have bowled better.
It sucks. You know, throwing
I can say that because I'm an armchair bowler, so piss off. I feel like a brand new bowler again, trying to learn shit. Like, this is crazy. Everything is just so different now.
It's fun.
Get married, take time off, don't bowl very many events.
So it is 12 games on each pattern.
Okay,
It's 48 games
and I like that.
in a row.
Yeah,
It's more than the World Series.
good.
Whew.
I like that.
Gonna be a lot of prep in the gym for that one. That's gonna be.
As soon as TOC is over, man, gym time hard.
Oh,
time.
it's just like I'm gonna be practicing like 5 days a week leading up to this, just so that I don't feel sore or tired going into this. So yeah, we have 6 games on Cheetah, and then it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the top 12 qualify for priority entry.
Mhm.
So I know some people have complained about the entry fee where it's like $1,000 and you're basically not getting any money. But just to be fair, and everyone knows, your entry fees next year on tour would not be paid. Like, you do not
Zero
pay
entry
anything.
fee.
So you're paying $1,000 and then basically getting handed like $7,000 to $8,000 worth of entry fee, saying you get to bowl for free.
How funny would it be if the schedule got put out and all of a sudden it's just 3 events and then the World Series with the majors?
I mean, you'd still technically make money. It'd still be like you'd still get 3,000 or 4,000
That
plus
makes
the
sense.
Masters and the U.S. Open. That is my
The
question.
Masters
Actually.
covered, though?
I don't know. I don't
think it
know if
would
the
be.
Masters and the U.S. Open are. I don't know because they're USBC. I haven't asked. I would have to get clarification from like the players
I don't
committee
think
or
it would
somebody.
be.
But I really don't know. I did think about that earlier. I didn't quite know what that would be.
Yeah, I don't think it would be.
But yeah, I mean that'd be interesting. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Let's see. JR, what balls would you have changed to make the last PTQ?
The 2 in my pants. I would have just sat.
I think
up a
we
little
can.
better.
Okay, I think we can agree. When we talked at the end of the first block, and you looked at me and said, "I never threw resin," I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because like, I was astonished that you never threw resin on Wolf. I shot 299 with a resin ball. On
Well,
Wolf.
when I tried the few shots that I threw, I had 2 different shots. I had one that I got up the lane and went runaway Brooklyn.
Okay.
The other one I got to the gutter and I 2-pinned.
And
So-
that two-pin scared you?
Just scared the living shit out of me.
I mean, I get it.
which was fine
I understand.
because then I just said, okay, F this. I'm just going left, and I'm
And it's gonna
slow hooking
Yeah,
urethane. And I hold 240.
Yeah,
so
you
it
might
wasn't-
be sleigh balled it,
Yeah.
basically.
So I'm like,
I mean,
yeah.
you did he's so good at doing that. Mikey,
like,
what
whatever.
you did with that motive tank on Cheetah this week, impressive. Absolutely impressive. I wish I could do that with a urethane ball that is that weak. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
but
I mean,
that was still insane to me.
I made so the way I tried to play Cheetah, I got screwed because I ended up breaking from the counter.
Wolf.
Or I'm sorry, Wolf. Yes.
They played the same.
I ended
Honestly,
up
they were very close to
Yeah.
the same.
So I was in front of the counter to start on 51 and 2. And so, and those pairs suck. And every time I got playing straighter, tried to go up the lane, my ball overhooked. And every time I tried to go around it just a little bit, my ball underhooked.
Yeah.
And early on, there's no using reactive early on. Like first game,
I looked at it. I was this close.
Oh.
I was this close. I threw a magic gem like 4 times during practice, and it struck 3 or 4 times. But the fourth one, I got it to like 4, maybe 5, like 4 or 5, and it went dead through the face. And I was like, oh man, I just
can't have that.
I can't, because it meant I had to get it to like 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And it
That's
just
a dangerous game to play early on.
Yeah. So then I just threw the red ball and shot 2-team. I went 2-team, 220, getting 9 7 times or 8 times or something stupid. Because I just didn't carry. But it's what I had to do.
You want bologna? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know really what I could have. Bologna sandwich? Okay, hold on one second. Let me make you a sandwich. I mean, the only thing I think I would have done differently, like I felt like I had gaps in my bag with bowling balls on the long pattern. I think I screwed up lane play. I think I honestly probably could have used the red ball to start instead of, but you kind of talked me out of it because of, I can't say it on here. Yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So so I tried to use the tank more so because of the reaction I was seeing
On the urethane?
of the urethane.
Or on the short or on the long?
On the short.
On the short.
Yeah, so on the short, I think I could have got away with the red ball because it hooked sooner and it would have taken away a little bit of that over-under, and I probably could have got a little straighter up the lane with that one.
Because it would lock up.
Yeah, but I tried kind of going around it a little bit.
And that's the thing. That's what I did.
Yeah.
The first game, I just used the 78 to lock up, and then I didn't feel like I knew I was going to get forced left, and I was like, this isn't going to carry.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to go. So I just went to resin game 2.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I had to. It wasn't because I wanted to. Everyone else was averaging. I shot 219 or no, I shot 220 or something the first game, and I was the highest within 4 pairs. And then we get to the low end in the scoring board updates, and I'm like 42nd.
Yeah.
And it was like 240 after game 1, and I'm like, where's the scores? Like, what's going on? So then I knew I couldn't strike enough throwing urethane. So I was like, I got to go to resin. And then I went like 2-team, 220, and luckily found it. Or no, I shot 180. I think I went 2-team, 180, and then went 220, and then matched up with an attention star for a game, shot 299.
Yeah.
And I said going into games 3, 4, 5, and I said this on the mic'd up thing, that I was like, I have to get to 100 over. So I knew I had to, because I was at even after 2. And I was like, I have to shoot 700 the back 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the difference. I mean, look at the difference. I mean, I ended up.
I said the same thing. I told myself I needed to get to 100, and then when I went
100 gave you a chance.
240 the last 2. I'm like, okay. So I got to 60, and I'm like,
yeah,
way behind pace still. But at least I got a crack at it, and I ended up missing by 60, which is
but you bowled on pace the night block. Like,
yeah,
on pace to make the cut.
Yeah, I bowled fine the night block, just not good enough. But my where I was going with that,
if you were in the cut going into the night block, though,
I was in.
You stayed in the cut.
But my problem was I have gaps, like those gaps. I think I got them filled now. But I used the harsh reality, which was shiny. So I used a shinier slow ball to start, and I had the front 5 or better 3 of the games. But as soon as that ball got too slow, I left a 5-pin the one time, and I'm like, this sucks. I had my next jump.
I 5-7 twice this week, so don't feel bad, buddy.
The next ball that I had was the Eternity, or the exotic gem. Both of those were leap years quicker than what that harsh was. I didn't have anything in between. I didn't have. So then it forced me to go a little bit to the left, which then got me out of that zone where I was right of everybody. Yeah. And it forced me to get to where everybody started.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of trapped. So I couldn't put up a big enough number at the end that I needed. So
yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, like we both kind of knew, like you said, you were 50 to 60 off pace on the short, and you ended up 50 to 60 off.
Yeah.
Like last year, that was the same thing that happened to me in the PTQ. I was like 50 out of the cut with the short, and then missed by one spot. Like
I coasted in that World Series.
last year you did. Yeah, you mauled them though. I did not bowl. I should have bowled better at the end of the block, but it is what it is. Let's see here. What is the better oil machine, or is there a big enough difference between Kegel and Brunswick? There is a massive difference. I know you asked this 20 minutes ago. Sorry, Robert. But yeah, there is a massive difference between them. I'm not going to say which one's better or worse. That's not for me to say. I don't know the ins and outs.
Which one do you match up better on?
I think it depends on the building. I mean, like Jackson last year on the Brunswick machine, I finished 5th, and then, I've made the last 3 Masters brackets, and I've been in the top 24 going into the 3rd day of the U.S. Open the last 2 years. So I think it just depends.
Yeah.
I don't really have a preference. I just think that they ask you to do different things on the line.
Yeah.
So it just causes you to look for different ball motion. But yeah, I don't know. Better or worse, that's not for me to decide. I don't know. Ask a bowling center owner, because I'm sure they'd have a better answer than me. Shouldn't be exemptions. There's not enough money to be made to tell possibly 200 more additional players to bowl in the tournaments. I've been a member off and on since 1983. Just open it up. Our prize funds aren't dictated by entries at all, like literally. So the entries don't matter. They could run a tournament with 32 people, and the prize fund would still be the same. So they don't need to open it up for entries. That's not something that matters to us or the PBA. The USBC, that's a different story. The Masters is dictated by entries, and the U.S. Open prize fund is correlated to the entries. But the PBA, that is not the case. So no, they don't need to open up fields just to let more people bowl or whatever it is, just because it doesn't affect the money in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's
a big misconception that people think. People think if we made the field 180 people that we'd be bowling for more money and that there'd be so much. Nothing would change. Absolutely nothing would change.
Because the sponsorship money is so much more than what the entry fees bring in.
Sure.
And people are like, well, then they should just put that extra money into the. They do.
No.
But it puts it. All it does.
But
is
we spend
just
money on
give you
so
more
many other
cash
things.
spots.
We spend money on the TV sets. I think we have a contract with Fox that has to do with money. We pay obviously the tournament directors, tournament organizers, like all those types of things. So there's plenty of money that's spent in other places, and like I know the Classic Series events, they only bring in with 64 entries. They're only bringing in like roughly like $40,000 to $45,000 between PTQ and the main field. So and the prize fund for those are $100K. So it has nothing to do with the entries. It's just strictly sponsor driven and whatever Bolero decides that it is.
So if I would have thrown a hustle playing up the lane, what would my ball have done on these patterns?
Can I change the surface?
No.
Just out of box hustle?
If it's out of box, which pin
Out of
am
box
I,
hustle?
which pin am I hitting?
The 3-pin's going to be your best friend.
Yeah. Straight through the 3-pin. I'm washing out every shot. That's why I'm not using hustle.
I'm storm staff, and I haven't thrown a hustle down a lane in the PBA Tour environment in the whole time I've been on staff. And I like the hustles. The hustles are really good for our local environment, for what we bowl on. I would use a hustle in league. Like, hustles are great balls. They're phenomenal price point, like very good. But, me, obviously.
He bowls better in that building. I ain't even gonna lie. I haven't bowled good in that building in a long time. My best finish in that place is like top 8. I make the cut every year, but I can never get through matches.
That was me last year. I finished the top 8, but I lost to the guy that won.
Yeah.
I mean, just Tom Smallwood, not somebody that's like,
so a no-name?
Just absolute no-name.
A no-name bowler.
Yeah. Guy that would crowbar me on the golf course, too.
Yeah.
He's really good at golf.
There's a lot of bowlers that crowbar.
I would love to see the best golfers from the PBA Tour versus some of these YouTube golfers do like a match. It'd be so cool. And it'd be great for the PBA. It'd be great for all of us. It'd be so much fun. You have a friend.
She's just so needy. So needy.
We're
Girl.
talking, so she's like, I need attention.
Yo, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Please talk to me. No, I'm not talking to you. Get down.
Let's see here. Wouldn't you want to make the bowlers in the PTQ show what they could? Yeah. Yep, you read that one already. Do you all believe the scores have been higher on average due to how good all the balls are in the last several years? Chad, no. I do not believe the scores have been higher because of the bowling balls being better. I believe the scores are higher because the bowlers are better, which means that the bowlers are breaking the patterns down better, which makes them easier, and the scores get higher. That is the reason that I think the scores are higher.
Factual.
The more intelligent the bowlers on the PBA Tour get, and the better they get at lane play, the better the scores will be because the patterns get broken down. There's a reason that these guys average 230 on 2-to-1 patterns. I say these guys, but like we bowl out there too.
These guys.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's the reason why. It's they break it. They all play the pattern relatively the same. We play the same zones of the lane. We break them down, and we all understand the transition that we create, and that makes the scores easier because that 2-to-1 pattern becomes 6 or 7-to-1 within a game and a half when you give us 10 minutes of practice. Because the dispersion charts for professionals are a lot smaller, so we're hitting the same areas in the lane, which means we're creating defined friction. So we know how to use friction, which is why there's a reason that the scores are higher on cheetah than what they are on wolf or badger. Sorry, badger or shark. It's because when you give these guys friction, they know how to use it. They are insanely good at using it. So it's when you start creating that friction, it scores are going to be high.
Oh, she's
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. John Willock. Shota on shark got more can openers than I've ever seen. Not sure why. That's just his ball motion. The ball motion he chose to use for that event and for that show, just that was the type of deflection he was going to get by using that ball motion on the line. That's all that is. It's always dictated by your ball motion and how it hits the pins. JR, what swag balls do you currently have in your arsenal?
In my arsenal, it depends on where I'm bowling. Like a lot of the local stuff, I'll use the swag stuff quite a bit. On PBA stuff, they're not quite strong enough to be able to be using out there right now. With some of them, like maybe on cheetah, possibly. Like my Royal Diamond, I probably will. I'll take one of those out for tour trials, assuming I don't magically make the TOC show or something and find my way into the top 43. But yeah, I mean, there's a few balls. I got 3 reviews from Swag coming. I'm gonna go record those tomorrow. So 3 of those that'll be coming out pretty soon. We got 3 new ones. A pink ball, the Archive Solid, is coming out. The Archive was pretty good, so the Solid version should be pretty good too. So if they are good enough, they make my bag. Lately, I have my core bowling balls that I really, really enjoy, and I take swag balls with me for specific areas. So we'll just say that.
Jeremy, I'm down anytime. I'm always in. He said I need to play Cody in a poker tournament.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Good luck with that, Jeremy.
Let's go. I played a poker session the other night, actually. It was good. It went good.
I'm trying to see if there's any PTQ players that is in the top 43. Technically, Dio is, but he won, so he doesn't count.
Oh, that's after this week. Are you looking before?
I'm looking right now, as of right now.
Were there none? Really?
There's none.
Go up. There's none?
No. Dio's 40th, but...
Let me see here. I thought there was one. I guess, well, technically Dombrowski would be.
He would be, but actually, he doesn't bowl any of them.
Nate Stubler.
Yep, Stubler. Yep,
so Nate Stubler's in. Yep, Nate Stubler, and yeah, Pat would be, but he didn't have to bowl them, obviously.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, and obviously Duran, but he won the Masters. Oh, yeah.
Booger.
Bug. So
but he won.
But he won early in the season and hasn't had to bowl the PTQs the last 3 events.
So it doesn't count.
I mean, he does.
Kind of.
He started as a PTQ bowler, but he won a title. He did it the way you. That's the dream. You get through a PTQ matchup for the week and win a title.
But that's what that shows you how hard it is. I mean, like
Boog also made it through every PTQ this year, so like he deserved it.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
He was going to be in the top 43 most likely, no matter what. So, but other than that, yeah, I think it's just Boog
and Dio.
And by Boog, I mean David Kroll. Sorry, his name is Bug.
Oh, and Nate Stubler.
Yeah, Bug, Nate Stubler, and Dio. And then Eric Jones is going to be in for sure after this week.
Is he?
Yeah. Go up. Hold on. Go up a second.
He wasn't in here.
Yeah. No, he will be once they put the World Championship points in.
Right. I'm trying to get down to where he is, though. Yeah, so he's 57th at 28.20.
Yeah, he's going to be in after the World Championship. He's guaranteed a top 10 finish.
Which will, how many points will that be?
At least, let's see, be like 12, be like 3,600 points.
Yeah.
Something like that. 12 to 1,300. He's probably somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 points. He'll be in.
He ain't going to be in then because 43rd right now is 4,300 points.
Yeah, but he already has 2,000.
Yeah, he's got.
He's going to get another 4,000.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was getting another 12 to 1,300.
No, it's a major. So it's 12 to 1,300 times 3.
Oh, yeah, right.
So it'd be 3,500 to 4,000.
Yeah, so he'd be in then.
Yeah, he's going to be in. We think the number is going to roughly be like 5,000 to 5,500 points. That's what we think the number is going to be. So if that's true, like if that's, if we're ballparking it close, then he'll be in. He'll probably be locked in after this week. Martel might actually be locked in as well too, because of this week. Because he's probably going to get another 3,000 points because of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be locked in. I don't know if he can bowl it. Does he ever? I don't know if he has a regional title or not.
I don't think he does.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he'll probably be locked in after the Worlds ends, especially if he wins a match or two on TV.
But that goes to show you, man. You have one good week.
Yep, that's what
if you're exempt and you have one good week, you should stay exempt.
Yep, yeah, for sure. That's why, like the PTQs, it's if you have one good week and can capitalize and make a show, you have a really good chance of staying in. Like last year I almost did that with Jackson. So I mean, it's just that's what insane. It is. But the only reason it is that way is because we only have like 12 or 13 events.
Mm-hmm.
If we had 30 events, that wouldn't be the case because it'd be harder. You need a lot more points to stay in.
Right.
But just because the amount of events is only 12 or 13, I think is what the total number is. It makes it where that point number is just so much lower. And with, so what is it? Is it 5 majors? Yeah, it's 5 majors, right? So, I mean, if you have a good week in one of those 5 majors, you can lock yourself into the top 43 pretty easily. Which is also, I mean, look at both of us. I mean, yes, we can say we both good in the doubles, but like if you make the show at the TOC, you're in the top 43, you're exempt next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it'll only take you technically 1 week as well. I mean, I bowled good this week, but if I make the show at the TOC, it's the same thing. I basically just whacked them for a week and then I'm like, hey, look, I'm in. You know?
This is funny. People are still upset that JR's layouts don't matter video. They'll get over it.
Somebody brought it up. That's fine.
People are silly.
Why does my StreamYard keep crashing? It's just mine.
It's just you. Is your wireless thing not good?
No, it is. Look, it says I'm connected.
It's odd.
No, I'm not.
Of course. Need a better laptop. It's probably because you dropped it.
I mean, no. The Wi-Fi adapter hasn't worked in this for a while, unfortunately.
Bring out the abacus.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of those things where you slide the thing over to do counting, to do math.
Oh.
One of those, like, yeah.
I was like, I did not know what that meant.
That's funny.
Yeah, someone estimated 5,500. Yep. Sherman. Well, Sherman's going to be exempt because he has the title.
Yeah, he don't matter.
So Sherman won't matter. He'll get to bowl next year no matter what. The only difference is if he's using his title exemption, I believe he still has to pay the entry fee. Is the only thing. But yeah, no, Kyle will be bowling next year no matter what. And he's finally starting to get healthy again, which is really good. So That's good to see. There was a sports therapist there this week that worked on him a bunch, I know. So, but yeah, he will be bowling on the PBA Tour next year, no matter what.
What seed is he?
He is the 7th seed. 7th seed, I believe. Yeah, 7th seed. So let's see. I can tell you how many points he's guaranteed for that. Give me 1 second. This one here. So
So like $6,000, 6,000. So he's in.
no,
If it's
That's
triple
not-
points.
that's not.
Oh wait, what event is that you're looking at?
That's the players.
Oh, so
Give me a second.
that points list is weird.
Well, because it's whatever one of these is, like whatever the points are from one of these
Times 3.
Yeah. So like, if he loses, he'd finish 8th. He'd get 715 points
Times 3.
and times 3, so he'd get 2,145 points.
What do you want? Water?
Wait, Dad. I'll pour it. I'll put it in. Where's my cup? I'm gonna use that cup.
I think they have my points wrong. Looking at Cheetah.
Put them in there, bud.
Hold on a second. I don't think they have my points right.
Conspiracy. They don't want you in.
Okay.
No, okay. No, they have my points right. Yeah, I finished 6th for 775 points.
Ready? Come on.
Oh, not ready. Oh, there we go. There.
I don't know what that was. No clue. All right.
No.
No,
No more.
just one
Trust
more.
me. Try it.
One more little bit. One more. One more.
Actually, I like your optimism there, but I don't think. Hold on a sec. I don't think winning the playoffs. I don't think winning would actually get me in the playoffs. Yeah, no. Steve, if even winning the TOC, I don't think would get me into the playoffs. So I'm gonna have like maybe 3,000 points or something a little less than that. Yeah, I'm gonna have like 2,500 points, 2,500 to 3,000 points. That would only put me at 10,000. I don't think that would actually keep me in the top 16. It might. 16th place right now is 7,700, so maybe. But I'll take just winning the TOC because it gets me exempt on tour no matter what, because it's a major. So, yeah, I'll any day of the week I'll take that. No questions. I'd love to, be a PTQ guy that wins the TOC. It's only happened a couple times, so. And yes, Rich, that is before my time.
Matt O'Grady did it. Well, not PTQ,
Yeah.
but
I didn't want to say
as a
the phrase.
regional win.
I didn't exactly want to say the phrase. I want to pull a Matt O'Grady. So,
yeah, probably
but
not
I
the
would
right
love to
phrase.
win the TOC out of the PTQ like Matt O'Grady did. I would love to do that. That'd be insane. So, well, I mean, there's
The
still.
meatloaf.
Let's see. Still 90 of you watching. Any other questions? You guys have anything you want to talk about? What's going on? Let's see. Our final standings, by the way. So Russo and Jesper 1-2. Graham got to 3rd, shooting 270 or 250 or whatever it was. EJ in 4th. Justin Knowles in 5th. Eric Jones 6th. Kyle Sherman 7th. Packy in 8th. And Michael Martell is your 9th seed. So, like we said, 2 right-handers. And then we've got 7 lefties. So, we're going to see. Well, it'll be interesting how that pair plays and what they do, you know. A lot of people said if Belmo got matched up in the Scorpion show, could he have won that show? Kind of goes the same thing here. If Kyle and EJ can shape them in a pretty good way, there's some big scores out there to be had on this pattern. I mean, I didn't look at. Let's see what match. Let's see. This isn't. I mean, like here, EJ shot 250, 270, 240, 240. So, I mean, there's some big scores out there. If he gets in a spot where he can just shoot 240 every game, it gives him a chance to run the ladder.
Yeah.
I mean, he's coming from so he's going to be your 4 seed.
They split it up, though, isn't it? Don't they split it up to 2 shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
So I'm pretty sure they rerun the lanes.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But, so Kyle's your 7 or your 6 seed, or 7 seed, sorry. So Kyle gets to wall up that pair by himself for Saturday night, because I think that show is on Saturday night. So Kyle gets to do whatever he wants to that pair on the right side of the lane. He's going to be the only righty bowling that show.
They're going to make him throw the lightning?
I don't think they made him.
I don't think they did either.
I don't think they made him.
But you know what ball's going to look good this weekend? The lightning. Look, yeah.
Who knows?
That place hooks.
It could. It depends. I mean, like you said, he can wall him up. He could decide that he's going to throw plastic for 20 minutes.
On the left side.
There's no defensive bowling, right, JR?
I think they would frown upon that. Kurt Von Kruger actually has yelled at people for that before.
Really?
Yeah. He's not on there anymore, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, in general, Kyle's going to have a look at that pattern. And if Kyle doesn't make it through the ladder, you're going to have EJ as the only righty on the top 5 show. So then again, you're going to be looking at a spot where you've got somebody with a 500-plus rev rate that's pretty good at following his own transition and knows how to break a lane down. It's not like
just move left, hit it harder.
Yeah, but I mean, he could hit stuff with 180 and just get rid of all that out of bounds.
Got to be careful of creating over under though.
He could.
Cliff.
Yeah, but look, I think if anybody's going to blend the cliff, it's going to be EJ.
Oh, that's a great question.
What's this?
If you both make the finals, will you shit talk each other on the show?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It would be the most
There's no
entertaining
debate about
show you would ever watch in your life.
Absolutely no debate.
100%.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be close. I mean, we would. There'd at least be one fight.
We would WWE this shit. We would make it so scripted. We would get under each other's skin, pretend to be. We'd get mad and everything.
I don't know if you guys saw.
I'd throw a chair down lane.
I mean, hey, I don't think you'd throw a chair.
Just jerk it off the dry.
You won't.
Don't steal my words. I might jerk it off the dry more. I love jerking it off the dry. That's what I do.
That sounds painful. No. If you guys watched the Scorpion show, I was there. I went and watched the show in person. And the Packy versus Kevin Williams match was the most exciting match I've watched in a long time. They both got loud. Packy stood on a chair. They had a ton of fun. It was great. If we bowled each other on TV, there's nothing being held back. I will just look him in the face and tell him he sucks.
He'd be a wuss.
That's not true.
He'd be worried about getting fined and everything else.
Nah, it'd be worth it. It'd be worth every penny.
I'd be out there dry humping the ball return and everything.
You would.
I would Happy Gilmore this shit.
You just make me more relaxed by doing that. I would bowl better. That would actually probably make my first experience on TV so much easier, because I'd be like, this is going to be so much more casual compared to if everyone was dead silent and it was just okay, here's this moment, ton of pressure. That'd be so much worse compared to if I had to bowl you. I'd be like, let's go. That's why I wanted to make the double show so bad, because I knew you'd help.
This would for sure happen. I would be chucking.
Oh yeah, I like to keep my
I'd
chamois on the ball return. He would
in
just
the
throw it somewhere else.
stands.
Yeah.
Anybody want a souvenir? Here you go.
I like to keep mine on the ball return. He would 100%. And I guarantee you, he would be more salty if he lost than if I lost. No. 100%. 100%.
I mean, losing to you, that would suck, yes.
That's what I'm saying. You'd be more salty losing to me than if I lost to you. But to be fair, I lost to you a lot when I was younger, 10 years ago. So I just got used to losing to you.
Now I'm fucking trying to learn how to bowl again. Ooh,
Yeah.
Watch my mouth. I said an F-bomb. Let's get me saying
I think that's the first one. We might have
That is
gone
the
almost
first
an hour
one.
and 45 minutes.
That's the first F-bomb that came out. And of course it was me. How is it me? You swear way more than me. JR was close to throwing a chair at Spectrum. I'm close to throwing a chair at Spectrum every year.
If you heard the mic'd up thing, apparently they didn't even have to edit it much. I didn't cuss much for the one that I did for the PBA.
You were definitely more tame on his microphone than you were on mine.
Well, that was different.
You didn't.
I was bowling with you.
You didn't give a damn about
I was
my
bowling
mic.
with you. So you made it that way. Because you didn't care. So then when you didn't care, I didn't care.
I never care. Because honestly, if people are going to get mad at me for swearing, go watch a different show. Go watch somebody else's channel.
All right, here's a good one. You want to put this one up there? Scroll up a little
Wait,
bit.
hold on.
Oh my god.
What are we after?
Up just a little bit. Right there.
This one.
Yeah.
I knew which one you were going after.
Yeah. So, do I feel like they are necessary? Necessary is a very interesting word. I think ball reps are a very, very, very good resource. I think what they provide to the bowlers is very important. It's very similar to having a caddy in golf. You're an asshole.
I had to.
I mean, it's funny though. But no, I think it's an extremely useful resource. I think it makes sense for the companies to have ball reps out there because you want your bowling balls on TV. I think a lot of those guys have been around bowling for a long time, and they can be very helpful. I think there's also times where you don't have to listen to the ball reps. I think there's times where the ball reps are there to make a suggestion, and I think it is what it is. You can decide to take their information or you cannot. I mean, it's the same thing. A golfer, his caddy can look at him and be like, I think you should hit 6 here. And he's like, nope, I'm going to hit a 7. And that caddy can't do anything about that.
Well, you're fired.
Yeah, he doesn't care. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think the ball reps have probably the most unappreciated job in our industry. When we bowl bad, there's a lot of guys, no matter how they, if they're bowling bad, sometimes you got to blame it on somebody. But, I mean, they do not get a lot of appreciation. They do not get a lot of respect. And I wish that they yeah, I remember that.
Trying to forget. Thanks for that. Appreciate you.
I won't let him forget.
Trying to forget.
Clearly that pair was easy and he did the wrong thing.
Dude, I struck forever in practice.
You won practice?
I won the hell out of practice. Those guys couldn't.
You just didn't win the tournament.
I just then couldn't strike when the lights came on.
Ronnie, he got some breaks.
Sean bowled the better game by far.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sean bowled.
I've seen clips of Ronnie through that, but I don't think I've actually watched the whole show. Maybe it's probably been years. I probably did a while ago, but yeah, no. But yeah, the ball rep thing, I think they are necessary. I think they're an extremely big resource. I think they're very good at what they do. And I think it makes sense from the ball company's perspective to have them out there. So it is what it is. I think there'd probably be a lot of different things if you didn't have them. I think that there'd be times where you would learn faster, and there's also times where you would learn less. Because if you're lost and you just can't figure it out, ball reps can help you learn of what you're supposed to be doing. But there's also times where you just know to do the right thing, and you don't even need the ball reps help because you're just like, hey, I've got the nuts, I'm good. I don't need your help. Go help somebody else that's lost. So I mean, it's indifferent. I think there's people that would probably feel on either side of that argument, but I still think they just get treated very poorly a lot of the time, and it's a very unappreciative job, and they're there longer than us sometimes, and I always thank them every week when they help me. So this week, thank you for Chris Schlemmer, thank you Rob Gottschall, Jim Callahan, and Tim Mack. You guys were extremely helpful during the World Series. I got to drill a bunch of balls. I got to try a bunch of new things. I learned a ton. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. You need resources, you need tools to compete on the PBA Tour, and they are one of them. So whether people think that or not, it's just what it is. It's true. They are a resource. They're a massive tool, and it can be the difference in you making a cut or not.
You just called them massive tools.
Oh, I did.
That's rude. The truth always comes out. The truth always comes out. Who has?
That's gonna get clipped, and
That's
that's
for sure. You are now
out of context.
Out of context, screwed.
Who, in your opinion, has the best release currently on tour? That's an interesting.
I don't think I have an opinion on that.
I don't know. Whose game do I like the most?
What's up, brother? Special teams, special players. Tuesday. I'm sorry, couldn't help myself.
I don't know who. I'm trying to think if there's one guy who has the best release currently on tour. As a guy that's one-handed and uses his thumb, I'd love to think that I could ever do what EJ could do, but I just couldn't. I just can't. Like he is a freak. I mean, he's so quick. He gets his elbow into a better position than it's like almost what two-handers can do. So it's absolutely just insane. And that's not possible. I think release-wise, like I think some of my personal friends know this, but like I've always respected and loved Chris Prather's game. Just what that man can do with the bowling ball is extremely impressive. He can create massive amounts of rotation. He can create tilt. He can create zero rotation. And he's just able to do a lot of things in the lane. So if you ask me, I like his game and his release more than a lot of other people. I think a lot of the two-handers are similar, but like you can't take away from what Belmo can do with the bowling ball. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So I think to say who's the best, that's I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on best. I just know who I like.
I think the guy that I think threw it the best and throws it the best, or when he was bowling on tour, he's no longer bowling on tour. Some of y'all might laugh at this, but Dan McClellan.
There's a lot of people that I have gotten some hot takes about him being. Did he win? He didn't win.
Yeah.
There's some people that think he's the best guy to ever bowl on tour to not win a title.
I think he's up there as one of them, for sure.
I still put he is a friend. So maybe I'm a little biased. There's still one person I put in front of him for that, and that's Richie Wolf.
Yeah.
I think Richie Wolf is still arguably the best bowler to ever bowl on the PBA tour to not win a title.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think he throws it phenomenal, and there's nothing I would love more than to watch him win a PBA title. Nothing. That would mean a lot to me, just because he deserves it. But
I don't think there's I don't know of anybody that would ever argue with me about me saying the most fun to watch throw a ball when it came to like smoothness and technique was David Ozio.
I never got to watch him.
Oh, it was so sick.
Never got to watch that.
So sick. That guy. It's unbelievable.
One of my favorite bowlers to watch growing up for me. Obviously, we're like 9 years apart, but Michael Fagan.
Yeah.
What that man could do with the bowling ball he was a freak.
His ball roll always tripped me out.
Yeah.
Because it was
that
super
Southeaster
tilty.
Grip
Yeah.
And
super tilty. So I could never I'm like, man, how does this ball do what it does? Because he was a trickster, man. It was kind of like watching Ryan Schaefer. He was another one.
It was different.
Schaefer could do anything with a ball.
Pete's ball roll was always extremely unique.
Yeah, for sure.
Norm was obviously the guy that could do a ton. No one throws it like Walter. No one's ever bowled on tour that threw it like Walter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not even close. And I mean, he's won more titles than anybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just so many.
Like, could you imagine if there were 30 stops a year for 10 years straight? Like, how many titles would EJ and Belmo and Simo and these guys have?
I mean,
like, would Walter's title reign even have a chance to hold up? I don't think it would.
So EJ is, I think, 32. Simo is 25 or 26. And Simo has 14 titles, and EJ has 22 titles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Norm was still winning titles in his late 40s.
He won titles in his 50s.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Parker, I know, is the oldest.
Parker
is the oldest to win a title, I believe. At like
I thought
55.
I thought Duke was that last title he got at that dual pattern event.
I thought Parker was
years
still
ago.
Maybe Parker had the record and then Norm took it.
Indianapolis.
Maybe Parker had it and then Norm is the one that got it after. I know Parker won Cheetah. Parker won at the World Series the one year, and I think that he set the record, and then maybe Norm took it. But either way,
yeah.
I mean, it's just.
But 30 stops, like think
EJ still has 18 years before he turns 50. I mean, so he's won 22 titles in 10 years.
And that's what I'm saying, though. And there's
So-
been a third of the stops every year. Like, the tour has been
Yeah.
cut in a third compared to
mean-
what those guys bowled. Those guys bowled 30, 33 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be insane. I think if that was the case, it would be hard pressed to say that somebody wouldn't be able to, like, taking someone like Belmo, you know, obviously he set the record for most major titles, but, you know, there's always the talk of, like, it's probably really hard for him to ever catch Walter. Because Walter is, what, 41 or 43?
Or 42.
Is it
42, right? I think it's 42.
I think, let me see. I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure it's 42.
I'm sure I can look it up.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's not enough of that. How can Belmo catch him? Like, he's
47.
Wait, what? Is it really?
And yeah,
Or are they
he currently holds the record for all-time standard PBA Tour career titles, 47. Yeah.
standard?
Yeah.
Where did I get 42 from?
I don't know. But he has 47 titles. I think if we had 30 events a year, I think it might be a little late now for someone like Belmo. I mean, what's Belmo at? 30? My internet just go out again. As I typed that. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, it's like the connector here is just like kicking me off for some reason.
31.
He has 31.
31
So
with
16
15
behind.
majors.
I don't know if he could catch him at this point. Like if we started having 30 events now.
How old's Belmo? 42?
He's in his early 40s, I think.
Yeah.
So if he had that for the last 10 years, I think it would have been hard pressed to say he wouldn't have caught him. But who knows?
I don't know. He's 40.
He's 40.
40 or 41. 40.
Oh, yeah.
He's 41.
He's 41.
Fucker's older than me.
Oh, no, he's not. He's 40.
Yeah, so he'll be 41.
He'll be 41 this year. Yeah, I mean, if we started having 30 events a year, I think he could catch him.
Probably could.
I think he could.
Probably could.
And I think someone like EJ would be able to get to those numbers because he has 15 years of that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and Simo, I mean, Simo's just like, he's going to get to 25, 30, if not more. I mean, he's going to win the Triple Crown. He's going to do those things. I don't think it's a will he. I think it's a when will he.
Yeah.
You know, because it's going to happen. I mean, that Simo is a freak.
Yeah.
What he can do with the bowling balls, absolutely. I watched him throw backup balls and throw a 4-bagger this week on Scorpion. He said he shot 820 the first 3 and was like, I'm just going to throw a backup the last 2. Because they got so hard on the right, like that depending on what pairs you hit, you didn't know. Yeah, he just threw a shiny gem backup. I think there's a clip of him like going like Brooklyn. And he's like, yep, got to use both sides or something. Like, I mean, he's a freak. I mean, he won a title throwing a backup ball. Like, dude's just, he's probably one of the most creative bowlers to ever put on bowling shoes, ever.
He can do a lot.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's nuts. He can change his tilt, he can change rotation, he can change his rev rate.
That's
He
one of those
changes ball
things, though.
speed.
Everybody thinks two-handed is an advantage because of rev rate. It's not the rev rate. It's the ability to manipulate your tilt so easily.
I think AJ Johnson has the record at the ITRC for the highest rev rate. It's like 620. I think like a one-hander set that. I don't even think it's a two-hander.
Yeah, but how many guys have actually gone out there to do it, though?
I don't know. I'm just saying, I think he has the record.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because like when we did when I was on Ebonite staff and we did there was
42 is early Anthony.
Yeah, there was a camp we went to right before Christmas. All the staffers and Dom and Bill and all of us were out there. We went to the training center, which is now the Creating the Difference Center. We did the bowler ID and all the rev rate and stuff. And Dom was messing around trying to get it as high. He got it to about 500. He was just trying to bang on that son of a gun. And that's what I was talking about when Gotcha was there. He was working for EBI. And I went through, and I was 465 at the time. And he said the same thing. He's like, your rev rate's sneaky high. I never would have thought you were that high. It's like, it's probably not that high now, but it was then. Will? Who's Will?
He meant Simo.
Oh,
You
sorry.
beat Simo at the Paragon, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you beat him to win? Is that the year you won? Oh, okay. He was probably 18.
I ran over.
Simo was probably like 18 years old at the time. Like, that's insane. That tournament was so hard, and you had an 18-year-old you bowled in the finals. Like, that's nuts. It just shows you how good he was.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's just a freak. Which do y'all prefer to throw in tournaments? Hybrids, solids, or pros? Completely depends on what we're bowling on and what we need. Lane tells you what type of balls to throw, not us. We don't decide. Obviously, if we get a choice, we're going to throw solids probably more often because they're more controllable. But again, it's just all dependent. So,
Yep.
Are we getting to this point?
Yeah, we're getting to the point where I'm getting antsy.
Yep.
So let's wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Well, I don't know how many viewers we ended up having total.
Well over 100 for the entire night. So
Yeah, I mean, we stayed around this 90 number. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this, please click the button.
make sure to subscribe, please.
Yeah, subscribe, like.
And even if you don't like our videos, just watch them anyway, or at least just let them run in the background. That's cool. we appreciate that. So we're trying to grow this so we can get to a point where we have some exciting things happening. So
Sure. And we do. We already have a plan
Yep.
for 100K.
when you get to
Should we just tell
100K,
them?
No. I'm not telling anybody anything.
All right. Okay, how about this? Let's set a number. When we get to 90K, we'll announce what the 100K giveaway is.
Sure.
When we get to 90,000 subscribers, we will announce what the 100K giveaway is. We already have it planned. It's already planned and
It's
set
already
up.
done.
So,
It's a done deal.
and there's going to be other things. It's not just going to be one prize. It's going to be a top prize, and then there's going to be some after that.
A
So,
dinner date with Cody.
No.
yeah,
You get to come watch me get my hair cut.
there
That's
you go. I get to shave his head.
Yeah, he's going to shave my head live on stream.
I agree with Abe.
No,
To like
I didn't say that. Again, I don't need clips of me saying that.
I'm cutting that clip. All right, y'all. We're out of here. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thanks guys for coming.
Hit the like button and stuff for us.
We're going to do this more often. We're going to try and do this consistently. Obviously, the tour ends next week, so we're going to be around. I think we're going to try and make posts on Mondays on both of our pages and basically ask for what you guys want to talk about. And
He's got a new athlete page, so he's going to be pushing
I
that
do.
out there. Make sure to go follow that. We'll try. Once he has it, I'll link it in the description and stuff
Yep.
so you guys can get to it. So
absolutely.
if you don't already like mine on Facebook, go follow there too. So I
Yep.
post a lot of different stuff on there as well.
We still have the
So,
TOC, and then we have the Memorial Day Classic. We have a bunch of content that's going to be coming. So, yeah, make sure you follow and subscribe. And we appreciate all you guys. Thanks for coming out tonight. It was fun.
What's up, brother?
See you.
Tuesday.
Click the button.